Did you see the rumors about the new villain for Mando and Grogu movie?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up actually because I've got an article pulled up about it.
That's another. Yeah. Oh well.
Do tell. I feel like I missed this.
Yeah, so apparently the main plot is expected to revolve around a mission to save Rota the Hutt. You know, that well-known character that
played by the guy from The Bear, right?
Jeremy Allen White?
Yeah.
No, he needs to go back to doing Calvin Klein ads. I did not ask for this.
So this is pulled from the Clone Wars, isn't it? This storyline.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. First
episodes.
Yeah, it's another one.
Yeah.
So I've seen that one.
So it says here, right, so reports that the Mandalorian and Grogu villain is going to be the bounty hunter Embo, who appeared in Clone Wars series episodes. Dave Filoni voiced Embo in the Clone Wars. Funny that, isn't it? And will reportedly return to do the same in Mandalorian and Grogu. So Christian Harloff also believes that the plot involves Din Djarin and Grogu being hired to rescue Rota the Hutt while Embo has been hired to kill him. So it's like a race against time to either save or kill this guy. Bespin Bulletin apparently backs that up. They've heard the same thing. And it says they believe Embo has been hired by the Hutts, potentially the two who appeared in the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, if this is true, that is a pretty obscure set of events to base an entire movie around.
Sounds like a movie.
Does it sound exciting at all?
A movie of all time.
Yeah, a movie.
I don't know. What would the plot have been about, like, broadly on piece of paper that would make you go like, oh, yeah. Like, is there anything?
Them avenging the show after Lizzo went on. That would have been
the
great.
Empire would have been kind of interesting, but I feel like they can focus
Jedi
so much.
Something. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I'm different on that, man. I feel like if
shit.
it was anything that sounds good, I'd be like, oh fuck, they're gonna.
He's got to do some mission for the First Order or something.
This
that's
is
just
literally
stirring in the background. I don't know.
Yeah, this is gonna be like probably the Hutts are gonna go to Boba Fett, and Boba's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm busy right now. I've got another guy for you," and then he calls Mando. Mando's like, "I'll do it," and then that's it.
Well, Fennec Shan would call for Boba because Boba doesn't get to do
exactly.
No,
Boba, yeah, exactly.
He's got a receptionist. 100%. He's not even capable of answering.
And just when you think she'd shoot something, she'd pull a knife out.
It's gonna be like I don't know. I mean, Dengar and a bunch of bounty hunters are with Embo, so we'll see that at least, which probably means we'll get Boba at the end of it somehow, because everyone wants to see Boba and Dengar. And Bosk.
I wanted to see that 10 years ago, and then they castrated Boba Fett and let him.
Yeah, I mean,
how long are we going to be in this
Book of
fucking
Boba
cycle?
Fett, I don't want to see it.
But what I'm saying is that this movie plot should have been what the Boba Fett show could have been. This would have been much better.
Yeah.
I honestly think, man, how do I put this? I think they think the Mandalorian is a much bigger deal than he actually is.
Yeah, but
the third season.
Yeah, because
ruination.
For a start, like success on Disney Plus is not the same as success in the movie theaters. Okay, like you need to appeal to a way bigger audience than that.
Good
and
a
lot of people
with season 3 anyway.
Yeah, well, exactly. This is where I'm going with this, and it's like even if like all 3 seasons had been like very successful and they'd all been good quality, I still think a lot of people who go and see Star Wars in movie theaters would still have no fucking clue who the Mandalorian is. They just wouldn't be that invested to watch these Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
And so like you factor in the fact that season 3 was a complete disaster and probably turned a lot of fans away. This is not a particularly strong IP to base a character and a movie around.
Did you hear that if it fails, he's not getting more movies? Filoni's not getting his crossover if this Grogu and Mandalorian
Filoni shouldn't be in charge of a fucking Starbucks or something. Like this is just he is not the guy. He's not the guy who's going to save Star Wars, I'm afraid. Ahsoka proved that.
Dude, Ahsoka season 2, we're getting Anakin, Obi-Wan, and the kid Ahsoka back again. I was just like, that fucking 5th episode where the whole internet went wild over flickering Vader. We're gonna get it all over again because it was
he Vadered.
Okay, I liked it, but it was just because I like to see Hayden again, and he knows how to swing a saber, and
that's what I mean.
He performs it well. But
this exactly goes back to the point I made earlier. It's like you got excited about that because it's an actor or a character or both that you used to know and you like, and they've come back for a little bit, like a little cameo.
I'll take
and that gives you that really cheap dopamine hit in your brain.
But please just give me a Hayden show.
But
okay?
if I can be absolutely clear, I am very happy to see them reprising those roles. I don't want Dave Filoni Filoni writing and directing it into sludge where it's nothing.
Yes.
I get no meaning.
Apparently,
Yeah,
we will.
I'm with you.
We'll see them in the Clone Wars flashbacks in season 2.
That's what the
Supposedly.
first season had.
That's what we
We'll
wanted.
see it with Obi-Wan this time.
Okay. All right.
With all of them.
This isn't going to work.
Yeah,
They won't do what we want.
Particularly, like, if you haven't done a movie in, what has it been now, 5 years since we had Rise of Skywalker? So there hasn't been a
Something like
Star
that.
Wars movie in 5 years. If you're going to come back after that period of time, right, and particularly when the last one wasn't well received, man, you've got to come back swinging. You have got to come back strong with something that will really grab the public's attention.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian and, like, puppet baby retarded Yoda is not going to be it.
With fucking
not
Rod
gonna
of the
do it.
Hut and Embo. I mean, sorry. No, that's not
characters
it.
that no one knows about.
No.
Yeah, I think they're bringing in like a lot of obscure bullshit because Dave Filoni likes his little Clone Wars self-inserts, and that makes zero sense for the general public. And at the end of the day, I think we can kind of all come to the agreement that The Mandalorian did as well as it did because it came out with Disney Plus. So it became like this exclusive thing that you had to subscribe to get, and everybody was talking about the little fucking green thing. I had a collection of them, okay? I received so many more, and they all ended up in a trash bag going to Goodwill. And my cardboard cutout of The Mandalorian that watched me sleep for 3 years straight actually got lit on fire like 2 weeks ago. So at the end of the day, they've even alienated people who were like really bought into that
You
bullshit.
should tell
They
your
just
fans that's what
eliminated
happens to them
Goodwill.
if they watch you sleep.
Every so often, I like to open my videos, like particularly when it's about Star Wars, with a video of like a Grogu in a hydraulic press just getting squished. Just- just because I'm like, yo, you know what? Because I know what that thing represents. I know that it's just a cynical marketing tool, and I'm like, oh fuck that little green thing. Like
My
squish it.
co-host Nerd Wars has a Grogu that he routinely beats every day and abuses just because that's what the people
There's
want.
that video that
Is he
has
okay?
the head of
Jesus Christ.
baby Grogu. It's a very hateable baby. What can you
It's a
say?
puppy. He comes back from it. He's fine.
But to echo what Drinker was just saying, right? Like to return the sort of silver screen box office giant that is Star Wars, to return after this long, you need to be careful what you're doing, right? Mainline episodes with all characters advanced 30 years or whatever in a brand new war with all kinds of amazing directors and writers behind it is one thing. To then be like, yeah, we're going to take that TV show that no one's really watching anymore and make a movie sequel. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Star
And if
Wars
that
Legacy,
comes out-
just adapt it.
And if it makes like a paltry, fucking 400 million cap or some shit, could you imagine? People will be like, oh shit, Star Wars is
it will.
actually like fucked.
I think you're actually being generous there in terms of what it's going to make, because
Also, the thing is, it goes the same for like an Avengers, where the fact that it's had a 5-year gap, people will be like, okay, Star Wars movie in the cinema, I'll go check it out. But if you put out a shitty one about things people don't care about, you are murdering like that little benefit you could have from being away for so long.
Everyone says put it on ice, but essentially it is on ice because
It's
no one will
technically
be
on
interested.
movie ice, yeah.
Right. It's when Kathy leaves, whenever she leaves, and it'll probably be 5 or 10 years from now, that is the only time people go, oh, she's gone? Let's see what they do. Other than that,
this
gonna
is
get
why
anyone?
I suggested like wait
She's gonna
5
be
or
another
10 years,
replacement.
right? And presumably in that time she'll either retire or fucking die of old age or something. Like either way, you've gotten rid of her. And in that case, then you can move on to a new creative team with a new creative direction and relaunch Star Wars. And you perhaps allow audience anticipation to build up a little bit, because here's the problem, right? And the same problem has now occurred with Marvel as well, where they are no longer memorable in terms of pop culture. They are commodified. They are forgettable. They are Big Mac meals of entertainment. You eat it, you enjoy it like for a few seconds. You probably get a bellyache afterwards because it's made of garbage, but then you forget about it and move on, right? That's what those movies are. That's what those franchises are now. People, even if the things that are halfway decent, like in Marvel's case, I don't know, like what was the last good thing that they made? Daredevil and Wolverine, right? That was good.
yeah, Daredevil and
Or-
Wolverine.
Daredevil
A lot of
and
people like
Wolverine,
that.
That movie, that was great.
What
That
did
was
you
fine.
say?
But then no one talks about it anymore. They forgot about it. Like,
it's done.
because the whole MCU thing is just forgettable. And so, like, if you don't have that constant stream of good stuff coming out, people just forget about it and move on. And that's where the position they're in now.
That's kind of the
And-
way movies and stuff are going now. It's got that TikTok vibe where it's just like, all right, that was great. I totally forgot about it once I scrolled past. It's you just got to keep up with the content, and it's unfortunate because it's not like, you know, you're releasing the Goodfellas or something that someone remembers. It's just like, okay, cool, we consumed. We got to make the next product for them to consume the next thing. It's unfortunate, but it's shitty storytelling with Flash.
Well, it's when you oversaturate it and you dilute the quality. Like those two things combined, because ultimately people are always going to remember the first 3 Star Wars movies. Like they made a cultural footprint that you're not going to erase easily.
Yeah.
Same with all the big franchises. Same with Star Trek, the early stuff. Same with I don't know if I can really say this about anything MCU related. Probably the first phase, it definitely didn't make a cultural footprint that we remember, but not as iconic as some of these other franchises. But either way, it did a thing. We don't have that anymore. And it's just dilution by sheer volume of stuff that's subpar. And
I do wonder how MCU will hold up. Because you just mentioned it, there was a time where I would have unironically told someone that they have to watch 20 movies so that they can understand this next movie coming out, and I would not do that now. So I wonder what people think about MCU going forward.
And it's not box office. That doesn't define the imprint that it makes. Because look at Avatar. The 2 Avatar movies, no one ever talks about them, but they're some of the biggest films ever made, ever. Yeah. No one cares, though. They didn't make any cultural footprint.
I think what really made a change was, for me, it was Spider-Man. The first one that came out. Everyone always talks about Iron Man in the first phase. For me, it was like Spider-Man, Blade, the first X-Men that came out. That was it was different. And then, then MCU kind of took hit. But those were the big ones that I feel really changed the game. And then it just kind of kept going. It was still okay, but it kept going downhill. And then Hulk turned into that.
Whatever that was. Yeah.
Professor Hulk.
Smart Hulk.
Yeah. Professor fuck up.
Estrogenic Hulk.
Cuck Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, Cuck Hulk.
I just feel like they needed to have given up after Endgame.
Sorry. Yeah. That's Mark got a new name. The Culk.
We're adults.
We're children.
Adults.
Sorry. No.
Fucking hell, yeah.
No, we're the kids that made all this shit worth so much today.
He did it to himself. Bring back Edward Norton. My God, we brought back everyone else. Just bring back Edward Norton.